Oh, dismount. Okay, nice. All right, I'm going to throw this into that lake over there. And splash. That's probably not the best for the environment. I shouldn't have done that. Today's episode is overflowing with Michaels. Michael Rabadan braved the Las Vegas highway to come talk into microphones with me. Michael is a first-class Las Vegas trumpeter with decades of experience in the industry, and we relax and talk about life, music education, fungus on tonsils, backyard bamboo, and much, much more. Without further ado, bring on the Michaels! Thanks for driving that nice new car over here.
Oh, heck yeah. Feels good. It's only half as terrifying as it was last week.
Why was it terrifying? Because you're eight centimeters off the highway.
Yeah.
Above the highway.
Yeah. You can get decapitated at any moment. There's no...
It's a little Astro Boy car.
Oh, man. It's terrifying. It's really terrifying. It was a lot louder, so that scared me, too. I guess I'm just terrified all the time.
I just picture you like starting your car and going,
I'm crying as I'm smiling.
Oh, no.
I hate this. Let's go faster.
You got those Swiss cheese holes in your pedals.
I do. That's where all the money went, yeah.
Through the holes.
Racing pedals, yeah. Yeah, it's aerodynamic, especially when the air doesn't go through that.
You never have your foot suctioned to the gas pedal.
No, it can't.
Is a huge problem.
You can't because of the
cars.
holes in the walls.
Yeah.
The holes in whatever.
In the pedals.
You know what I'm saying? The pedals, not the walls. Definitely not the walls. I'm stupid.
Get out. Yeah. All right. This is good. All right. So I'm just gonna say some shit here. Today's guest on Spice to Meet You. That's not how I ever start the fucking thing. Today's guest is a fantastic trumpet player.
We should have some lavender or something around. Spice to Meet You. I love it, and some Earl Grey tea.
You have it's a nice background. We could film this.
Oh yeah, okay. That's true.
My phone's out of space though, so I'm not going to do that.
Oh, we'll always have our memories.
There's nothing to be done. All right. Today's guest is a fantastic trumpet player that I have a lot in common with. And I'm going to list these things right now, okay? Ooh. We're both Michaels. We both write and arrange music. We're both musicians. It's the same thing, I guess. We both worked on cruise ships, tricked beautiful ladies into long-term relationships, and then moved to Vegas.
Yeah, that's the pinnacle of our success right there.
Yeah, that's why I'm having an existential career crisis right now, because I've peaked.
Yeah.
All right, so and this is stuff that I did learn off of the website, the NV Music Academy website, a little bit. Some of these things.
That was a lie. I did a George Santos. I just threw up on us.
Oh, that's lies.
Yeah, that's
all full of lies.
Yeah,
all right, well, I'll list these things, and
I
you
can
tell
admit
me,
it before anybody figures it out, though.
You tell me which ones are lies. Since graduating from Berklee College of Music in 2004, you have shared the stage with such greats as Carl Denson, the Bomb Squad, G.E. Smith, and Randy Brecker. Is that all true?
Yeah, but there's a little shared the stage might be a little loose term. We kind of opened for a lot of them.
Every music bio in the fucking world.
But
it's
yeah. But I did play with those guys as it could have
been
come
a
on
jam
stage
session.
for a it was a show.
Yeah, so then you did share the stage.
Yeah, but I kind of high-fived them and then left. No, I played.
I bought tickets to the show.
Yeah.
I ran up on stage.
Yeah, that's when the
them.
security guard tackled me. And
okay, so that's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah. I breathed the same air.
All right, so all those things. You've played shows all over Vegas, including Zombie Burlesque and Vegas the Show, to name just two that I know of. You play.
That's all the shows with the trumpet player.
That's all the gigs. Those are the two gigs that are left.
Shows there are. Yep.
Yeah. And with groups like this, with groups like Soul Juice and the Lucky Devils Band. I'm just listing things that we have in common, I guess. Although I haven't done Zombie Burlesque, so fair enough. But yeah, you're well known on cruise ships and around here for your charts. And you even have tribute shows for Sting, and not for Sting, but you have tribute shows based around the music of Sting and around the music of Michael Jackson, which you developed over the course of your cruise ship career. Which not many people do that. You. When I first met you on cruise ships, I had read your charts many times before that, and your reputation preceded you, and it was cool to actually meet the person that was
thanks, man.
part of the reason that I started getting interested in that, because it was like, oh, this guy's actually doing it. What's stopping me from learning more finale and learning more about arranging and how to write drum charts and all that shit.
I can tell you why I started doing it.
Why? Because you were sick of reading shitty charts, right?
Yeah, but that hadn't pushed me over the edge to be like, we can't do this anymore. No more Proud Mary.
Yeah.
No more Brown Eyed Girl.
Yeah.
I started with the Michael Jackson show. Because I absolutely hated my roommate.
Okay.
So I just sat in front of the laptop, put some headphones on, and worked as much as I could so I didn't have to talk to him.
Okay.
That's
interesting.
That's why I
Okay.
and it just kept going song after song after song for an entire contract.
That's a good motivator.
Oh my god!
Motivated by personal hatred toward your roommate.
Fear and hate. It's it's good.
What? Yeah. So that was your juice to get you going, and then you kind of, I think you at some point hit a
I actually liked
momentum.
it.
Yeah.
And when we played it, I was like, oh, that was a lot of fun. And then once I finally got on to the next ships, I wanted to test myself and see if I could do a show in between contracts, because there's usually like 3 months off or something.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if I could write 18 songs, or I don't even know how many songs it is.
How long into your cruise ship career were you, like how long had you been working there when you were like, you started writing
the police one or the
well,
MJ
just
one?
I guess any chart. Like, did you start with like one chart here and there, and then it kind of just snowballed from the hatred of the roommate thing? Or?
No, I think they were both like, we were doing a show. I'm doing a show.
Yeah. But like, was that like 3 years into it, or?
No, it was probably 5 years into it.
Okay. Yeah.
And then 5 or 6 years into it, and then the last 2 years, I did the Sting show.
Yeah. So it started with the MJ one,
me.
and then
Yeah.
did the Sting one.
Yeah,
Which are like
had,
two sets, right? Like there's two full sets.
you can do 2 45-minute sets. I
Yeah.
think they actually can get up to 2 hours.
This. See, I would have killed to be on. Like I had really good like early contracts on ships. Like when we had the 10-piece and it was 6 horns. And I was never on a 7-piece ship. But I was only ever on 10-piece and 5-piece where I was the only horn. So it was like,
that's
but
fun.
like, and I had great contracts, and like the people that I met and like the mentors that I had and the people I got to play with were just unbelievable. And same thing with the 5-piece ones too, but it was, it's just a different gig. It's
Oh yeah, sure.
it sucks. It's not because of the people, but because you're playing shaker or tambourine or doing background
making
vocals.
up your own parts,
or playing some shitty line over.
Yeah, you're back in
Brown Eyed
college
Girl.
again, where you're like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
feel it.
yeah, just gotta
God.
feel it. Yeah, and you're dealing with other people who aren't horn players that don't really know what to do with you.
Or musicians.
Depending on the ship. But my point is, I would have killed to be on a ship where you were like the guy writing the charts was like the MD and
thanks,
like
man. Well,
doing all this shit. And
that's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to get these shows going this year. I mean,
here in Vegas,
yeah.
yes.
It just takes one.
And because the work is
shot.
done, it's you've already
The work is done. Yeah.
built
Well,
the house.
everything's
It's
written
kinda-
anyway, but the charts are hard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of went for it.
Yeah.
But that's also, they don't get boring because they are so
Yeah.
hard.
No, it's good. It's I think it's interesting.
Thanks,
and
man.
you don't and you write shit that, and maybe I'm biased because you're a horn player but you because and I play with you all the time, and you're super easy to play with because I know when I listen to you, I know when to articulate, cut off all the stuff, and it's just easier to play with someone like that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
And that's represented in your charts too. But yeah. Well, that's funny. So you started with the hatred of the roommate.
Hatred, absolute hatred. This guy would have a TV going on, he would have his laptop going on, and still want to have a full conversation, and he couldn't stop talking.
No,
it was just.
Well, and that's gonna be that was one of my questions, and that kind of answers that is like working as a cruise ship musician, which there are. I don't know if there's less now, but I feel like there's probably less. The gig is totally different now. Mm-hmm. But when we did it, and we saw the tail end of like the 10-piece band is now gone, and I was one of the last Barry players, I think, on the ship. But
yeah, what was that? The Splendor?
There was a Splendor, and it was before they actually fully got rid. They brought it down to a 9-piece,
right?
And it was once my. It's not like I got axed. It was just like there was no more Barry after that, on that ship. But yeah, maybe it was just that ship. I don't know if it was the very last Barry player, but yeah. So the gig is not the same really anymore, but I guess it's still there. It's still similar, and I feel like people listening to this that would consider getting into cruise ship work as musicians, especially as horn players, that's part of. I'm guessing that part of the cons, and we'll get to the pros, but the cons of working and living on a cruise ship are the roommate thing. It's because you're in such a tiny little, like we're sitting.
Musicians aren't usually the cleanest of people.
Yeah. Well, and by the way,
that dude was a social host. No, he was a Club O2 dude.
Oh no.
And
so he dealt with kids. That's the teen one, right?
Yeah, and he just asked the dumbest questions, and I just look at him. You could probably answer this question yourself. Here you go.
One of his questions was, "Do you like me?"
Yeah, I want to be
just gave him a piercing gaze.
Are we friends?
Do you think? But no. So like, if you had to choose one in each category, best part of working on a cruise ship, worst part of working on a cruise ship. In your whole, what was it, 7 years?
Well, we met our wives on cruise ships, so they became our roommates, which is a great part of the.
Yeah,
that's you. That's total different swings of the pendulum there.
That's the thing is like if you find the love of your life on a cruise ship and you end up living together, it's way better.
Way better.
Way better.
Girls are way cleaner.
Yes, they are.
Than disgusting musicians. Do you have any bad roommate? I have plenty of them.
Oh my goodness, yes I do. Number one worst roommate, Meredith Elrod. No.
Yeah.
It was a guy that.
Love you, Meredith.
And some people listening to this will know who this is if they know me, but it was another. I won't even say the instrument because I don't want to. It was another horn player, a much older man. He would basically he smoked in the bathroom, which was. So all of our towels, I had to keep my towel outside of our bathroom so that it wouldn't smell like cigarettes.
Sure.
To dry myself off with. Meaning, and because he did that so much, it was like yellow on our ceiling. It was absolutely rancid.
Yep.
But because he chain smoked all day long, and it was I'm worried about the guy, but I'm like you can't like tell people how to live their lives.
You're not their parents.
Yeah, and for the most part, he was like nice to me and everything. He just kind of left me alone. But it would be late at night. He would come back from the bar, and you would just hear him smoking, either smoking, crying, or coughing up a lung. I swear to God, and it's the saddest thing ever. But like,
I know,
and it's now that
yeah, that's something roommates have to actually look out for each other as well.
Yeah.
Because you can get mad depressed. I mean, people throw themselves over the side of the ship.
A friend of mine I went to school with, he got, way before I ever got a gig on a cruise ship, he went and did like a 2 weeks or something on a Carnival ship. And over the break, we heard about, it was a news story saying, musician on a cruise ship falls overboard,
right?
And no one could get a hold of him. We didn't know who. They wouldn't say who it was in the news thing, right. And we didn't. It was before like It probably wasn't before smartphones, but it was. We didn't have his number, and he would be out at sea anyway. So, but yeah, so then he showed up and he was alive, so it was fine. And it was like some fly-on thing, but yeah, no, you can get crazy depressed. You don't have windows. You
work with the people you live.
You work with the people you live, which can be an advantage because you get to know people really quickly.
True.
Because you eat with them, you sleep next to them, in the same hallway, I mean, not in the same bed. But, sometimes. That's how we met our wives.
Sometimes we sleep in the hallway.
Sometimes you just wake up and you're like, hey, you want to marry me? And we'll go to Vegas?
Yeah. I practiced in the mirror when I had to say that.
No, but anyway, so, yeah. But best part of working on a cruise ship, besides meeting your wife, that's got to be number one.
So number two, well, obviously all the places you visit.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of the places, granted, are still pretty slummy.
Well, and it's the tourist version of those places, like Nassau and in the Bahamas.
But like, but I even like the resorts like Cozumel. I loved going there every week, every single time. You got your
can't
spots
get bored in
there.
Cozumel's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I got a tattoo from I think a 16-year-old, and I'm pretty sure it's still the best tattoo I have.
What is the tattoo? Is it?
Is it?
Is it a tramp stamp?
It's the Om.
On your
It's on my
shoulder.
Yeah, shoulder blade.
Yeah.
Next with the other two.
Gotcha. Okay. How long did it take? Was it just you saw him, or were you like, I'm getting a tattoo today?
I'm getting a tattoo today,
Okay.
and I went in and I showed him like a picture.
Yeah, the places. Did you ever do the West Coast run?
Oh yeah, I did
Yeah.
PV. I did the
Cabo.
Alaska.
I never did Alaska. We never went.
And that was the one at the end of the summer one.
Yeah.
We went to Hawaii and then took it over to Australia.
Nice.
And that's when I went to New Zealand for the first time. And
there you go. And you you made a beeline for like the woods, and you found Katie.
Hobbiton,
and you were like, "You're gonna be mine."
Yes, I hit her over the head and dragged her back to my cave.
And she was like, "Okay."
Yeah. It was my awesome charm. There was just no questions.
She was like, "Look at his spiky hair."
Yeah. Weird. An American. Green card.
Yeah, and then we went through all that shit. Yeah, we used to when we moved here. We used to live right up the road from one another, and started hanging out.
We could cartwheel to each other's house.
Yeah, we started hanging out more once you moved to the opposite end of the county. But that's good. No, but we went through all that shit this at the same time because she's from New Zealand, I'm from Canada, and anyway, so yeah, good or bad, whatever. We covered the cruise ship stuff. Talk about Berklee for a second. What, or is it worth talking about? Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean,
how did you? So
I was there
from Missouri.
Got to be 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Something?
Originally from Missouri.
No.
What did
kind of a tumultuous past. All right, so I was born in Rhode Island. I grew up in New Jersey.
I didn't know that.
And then I moved to Missouri when I was like 10 or something.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
And then...
I didn't know any of that. This is good that we're doing this.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Michael.
What was it? Just like work stuff? Like
yeah, Dad was working for IBM.
Okay.
And the move from Jersey to Missouri was because of I guess they were I don't want to say collapsing or anything like
consolidating,
that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Doing something.
Well, the tech industry in general is
in
a constant state of expansion and collapse, I think.
Yeah.
Right now, we're
breathing organism.
January 2023, so we're in the middle of a gigantic downturn in jobs in the tech sector. But
Tesla prices are down, so you should go get a Tesla. Wow,
get a Tesla.
Yeah. The dudes are emerging.
Anyway, so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Rhode Island,
Berklee,
New Jersey until you're 10.
Missouri. Yeah.
IBM
Until high school. And then went to school right out of high school.
And you were like, I'm
in
like
Boston,
this.
not EY.
Yes.
EE.
Yes. EE, the music one. Do they have a music program at EY? I don't know if they do. That's the.
I don't know. Is that a lawyer school?
I probably shouldn't just guess about things into a microphone. It's probably a bad idea.
No, there's no repercussions for lying anymore. So
Oh, that's true.
yeah, you can become anything you want, really.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go to Mars. No, wait. I'm gonna buy Twitter. Anyway.
Do it. It'll probably be a really good financial move for you.
Good. Okay.
How much does the planet cost?
But yeah, so you went to Berklee. How much does the planet cost?
That's what Kanye asked that question.
What?
Yeah. He was like, I can't remember. I think it had something to do with money and the resources or something. And then he just asked somebody, I thought to myself, and this was really genius, how much does the planet cost?
If you're high enough,
God,
every single
I
thought
think I got dumber.
that comes into your head is going to be genius. If you're high enough. And that guy...
Do you think he does anything?
He
Maybe
it's
should
not
be
a
on
high
medication.
thing.
Maybe high.
Well, maybe it's a lack of high.
On purpose.
Yeah. I think his brain is just broken, and I think he has whatever the opposite of imposter syndrome is. Lou Gehrig's disease.
Nailed it. Imposter syndrome.
There's a name for it. Anyway, overconfidence in an area, but went to Berklee. Stop talking about Kanye
Napoleon.
West.
Yeah. So, Berklee. I was there from 98 until 2004.
Okay.
There was a year that I didn't go because I got mono really bad right when the semester started.
Ooh.
Oh man, that was rough.
That's not good.
I think I lost like 15 pounds.
Jesus. And that was mono?
Yeah.
Shit.
I couldn't. You ready to get disgusting? Okay.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
So
I had such bad bacteria on my tonsils.
Oh, God.
That things were like growing on them. I had doctors coming into the room and be like, check this out.
You told me that once, I think.
Oh my God. Eventually,
Check this shit out.
Yeah.
Look at this shit.
You never seen this stuff
Yeah.
before? Look how disgusting this kid is.
Oh my God. That's stressful.
Eventually, it was as I was
Patient
getting
zero.
better, I literally they dislodged themselves and I'd cough them out, and it was like fungus. Oh God, it was so disgusting. Anyway, so I couldn't go for a semester or two, and then another semester. I think I didn't prepare the funds very well. Anyway,
Right.
I did graduate. One of the few. We have a Berklee Curse.
Berklee Curse.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing? Okay.
Yeah. As if you graduate, you'll never make it.
Shit.
That's fun.
That's dark.
Berklee does have an 80% dropout rate, from what I heard. It's like, but if you can sign a check.
Well, the thing is, and I mean, look, I could have a whole podcast about what's wrong with music education, post-secondary music education, and what we do to keep money coming in and keep enrollment rates up so that the programs stay funded, and whether or not that's ethical to just go, well, you're going to spend 4 years learning how to craft a jazz solo and be a good soloist and have good tone and know scales and all these things, and then okay, so what do I do for money? I don't know. Get a trade.
It's also the connections that you make there.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's why we came to Vegas. It's like there's the connections here, and it's like I have gotten work through people that I've met through the university, but
yeah,
that's a hell of a price tag on a 2-year long convention.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
And I learned how to write music and shit, but no. Anyway, it's
some people need that structure, though. I mean, who was it that sort of posed that thing on Facebook?
Kanye West, I think.
Was he? Yeah. No, Carlos.
Carlos.
No.
About what?
I can't remember who said it, but someone asked, actually him, funny enough, about going to Berklee, and he was just basically like, no, you don't need to go to school to learn all this stuff. But I wrote back. I was like, some people actually need this path, this focus. Otherwise, they're not going to either find out for themselves, or they're just going to be too lazy to really kind of care enough to. You need that kind of competition at the same time too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you have a group of peers. You're all kind of
right. It's easier to meet people. I mean, I lived right across the hallway from Rashawn Ross, who plays for Dave Matthews.
Yeah, no shit.
I played it.
Did you really?
I
didn't know that.
I'd go in and he'd be playing. I'd just chill with him and his roommate.
That's awesome.
Well, he'd always be practicing on some like Clark Terry or some really hard bebop stuff and just be memorizing, always playing.
That's great.
I played in the Tower of Power ensemble with Mark Kelly, who's the bass player for the Roots.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that I just met that have now gone off and done. Annie Clements, she used to play for Sugarland, and she's with Jennifer Nettles now.
Okay. Well, and that's
I don't listen to country, so.
But no, isn't that cool that like, and those people would probably have done that shit anyway, but like the fact that we can pool these people together and then you can see where people end up.
Yeah.
And like be across the hallway from Rashawn Ross. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, Rashawn's living here now, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah.
He was in LA. Adam Schroeder knows him. But yeah,
just played with a gig with him last night.
Did you? Yeah.
Soul Juice.
Soul Juice, yeah.
Hashtag Soul Juice.
How's that going?
That's going great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a
Was
lot of
that
fun.
at that same place that's like right up the road from you?
Yeah, it was at Santa Fe.
Santa Fe Station.
And then next Saturday, you guys should come. We're at Sunset.
Okay. Oh shit! All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's our old stomping grounds.
Yeah,
you and I.
Yeah. Margaritas are still what, $3?
I don't know.
Fantastic.
I haven't had a margarita in a long time. Shall we?
Oh yeah.
Cheers. This episode brought to you by Maker's Mark. If you have extra wax, put your bottle cap. Nope. No, just cut that out. This episode brought to you by little poppy noises that you can make with your mouth. That's good. It had acoustics to it.
It did. I almost heard some sort of echo or something.
It's my non-treated recording room here.
Oh, you did the whole thing.
Oh yeah, we're not supposed to.
Maker's is tasty. And I'm a wuss.
Have it on the rocks if you want. Oh, it is tasty. Yeah,
It is
it deserves
tasty.
more than just being shot. Where did we end with that? So yeah, Berklee. It was cool to have. Well, okay, yeah. So we touched on that. That's good. My next question. Wait. I put. You're also a little landscape boy. Your backyard is insane.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's if you see this man's backyard, first of all, get out of there.
It's not a euphemism for...
Get out of there because he's trapped you.
No, but he's right, though. You won't leave.
Murder Shack. Hashtag Murder Shack.
Yeah, I'm growing bamboo, and...
But like
What do you
I
think's
go
under
over
the
there
bamboo?
and there's new shit every time I go over there. How's the bamboo doing? Is it like... Is it like piercing into the like power lines yet?
No. Winter's really rough here. It gets really windy, and bamboo doesn't like the wind. So
Yes.
a lot of the leaves are super stripped off, and a lot of them are starting to die. And
shit.
I just
Okay.
don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know. We'll have to find out. But
Yeah.
bamboo's a grass, so it's pretty
it's
resilient.
like a big grass.
Yeah,
I found that out probably from David Attenborough. It's crazy.
that's a good guy to know.
Giant.
Is he still alive?
Grass with giantism. I think so.
Yeah, it grows. It grows unbelievably fast.
Yeah, and they use it for like skyscrapers and shit in like Japan.
Yeah, scaffolding.
Because it's like flexible.
Yeah, not for the skyscrapers, but for scaffolding.
Scaffolding, right?
And sheets.
And what? Hey,
Bamboo sheets
what
are
other
really
things
nice.
can you make from bamboo, Michael?
They're edible.
You can
Some
eat
of
it.
them. Yeah, you can eat it. The bamboo shoots like you get in like.
Hey, if there's
Japanese and
if
China.
bamboo is giant grass, how come there's not like giant horses eating the giant grass?
we call them pandas.
Oh, the giant horses of Asia.
Yes,
Okay, glad we cleared that up.
they're super frumpy.
Do you want to talk about the landscaping, the actual like the thing, or like is that? Maybe not?
Well, I during COVID we all needed jobs.
Yeah.
I was teaching, online, but there was just not too many people. Not when it comes to like budgeting yourself, somebody's not going to put. Let's get my students some music lessons.
Right.
When you're strapped for cash,
Yeah.
so that dwindled down, and I needed something. I mean, I looked into so many different things for new jobs, electrician, just I don't know, something that I wouldn't want to just go to work and hate my life.
Right.
That's I'm too old for that stuff.
Yep. I'm right there with you.
I was doing a lot of stuff in my backyard, trying to make it kind of like a
Shangri-La,
an Asian vibe, I guess.
Yeah, well, you got like the cacti. You got all sorts of shit all over there. You got a little water feature. It's beautiful. It really it's like
very weird.
It puts me in a really fucking good mood just to step into your backyard.
You know, you're welcome.
Well,
anytime,
I'm gonna just be there one day, and you won't even know that
I
you
want you
invited me.
to. You're allowed. You have my permission.
Aw, we're gonna hang out.
I can't wait.
Anyway, so but then
so I Katie was working with one of her friends, Danny Sawchuk. That's not her last name at that point, but anyway, she's married now to Murray Sawchuk, who's a magician here. He works all over the city. Probably the hardest working person I know.
He's been called because of my research, according to my research, the funniest magician in Vegas.
Oh, cool.
So saw that on his website. That's the.
He told me so.
No, I saw it on his website. He didn't like tell me that.
Oh, that's all. He's a regular on like Pawn Stars.
He has a very distinct haircut. He's got the blonde. He kind of looks like a palm tree. I think that's what he's going for. I don't know if you'd mind.
Yeah.
If I said that.
It's definitely the look. Yeah.
It's,
you stuck your finger in a socket type of.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. It's wacky-ish.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah.
Very funny guy. Very down to earth dude too.
Very kind. He's always helping people out. Always. And
man.
he asked if I wanted to do. He started a landscaping business called Dirt to Dreams over COVID, and he asked if I wanted to do work with him, and so I did that.
Oh, he started it during COVID.
He started it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was like
COVID.
already established.
No.
Wow.
And he's still doing it.
Yeah.
So we would do complete renovations on people's front and backyard, and then I think I had like 5 or 6 properties that I would keep up per week.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I would drive to these places in his truck, his 1982. I don't think it's a Ford Bronco, but it's something like that, which has the worst
OJ
steering ever. It's like if you turn, you're still going straight. You have to turn it 300,000 degrees. And man, I give him crap about it all the time. It's hilarious. But I think that was his first truck, and I think it's got 700,000 miles on it or something like that.
God.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Well, I mean, at that point, it's just immortal, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Does he? Yeah. Where would he find the parts for it? Time machine.
It's all analog. Yeah, I'm sure you just chisel it out of stone.
It's like wooden parts on the inside.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You have to grow it. You have to grow Ford 1982 Ford Bronco parts. I don't think it's a Ford Bronco, but it's the same
That's
look,
why
same
you're
look.
growing bamboo in your backyard.
Yeah,
to
yeah, I'm
replace the
helping
steering
his
wheel.
keep this car up. You're welcome,
shit.
Murray.
You're on a blast here, Murray. We'll have Murray on the podcast so he can rebut all the things you're saying.
Absolutely. He'll probably be the first one to tell you. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. He always lets people drive his car and drive around. He's a very kind individual.
Well, that brings up a good point that I've thought about, and just because what we were talking about before we started recording, about or opportunity, all the opportunity that I've had, that real opportunity where it's like you could potentially go down this path and make a career out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been from applying for jobs. It's never been from my qualifications or the school I went to or the degrees I have. It's always been from people that know me and want to work with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that type of thing where Murray is like, you connect through so and so or whatever. Meaningful shit happens through people and not
paper.
Yeah, exactly. Or social media or whatever.
Sure.
Because like, I spend a good portion of my day when I'm not at work on LinkedIn and doing this and that. And what I've learned from that is that applying for jobs, it's like you still apply for jobs. You still apply for shit that comes out. But real meaningful mentorship and improvement and all this shit that's actually going to get you somewhere happens by communicating with people.
Sure.
And
you have to put yourself out there too. I mean, it's not just somebody you know who's actually doing all the legwork or something. Granted, Katie introduced me to these people, and she's a social butterfly. I admire her so much because you ever see the movie Yes Man?
Yes. Is that the Jim Carrey one?
Yeah. Where he doesn't say, if given an
he
opportunity,
he has to say yes.
It's Katie, even if she doesn't want to go out.
It's Liar Liar, but like with Zooey Deschanel.
Right. Without lying. Yeah, she'll go out and even if she doesn't want to, she'll go out with her friends and just make an appearance.
Which can we plug Katie real quick?
Oh yeah.
Because like every time I see her on Instagram, what's her Instagram? Do you know it off by heart?
What the hell's an Instagram?
You're a bad husband.
Katie Rose.
I can't read. Katie Rose MNZ. What's
MNZ?
What is that, by the way?
Katie Rose Matthews, New Zealand.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Is it Katie Rose or is it Katie M? Katie Rose?
KatieRosemNZ. On Instagram.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Before all that stuff. But she's always doing shit like the random, like I don't know what to expect when she posts shit because it's always different shit.
Yeah.
And it was my favorite. Can I just say my favorite is
She's a dancer here in Vegas.
She's a dancer in Vegas.
Ballet trained and
and
then she does does everything.
And I know how badass she is because Meredith talks about her as like her ballet technique specifically and like.
Yeah. Oh,
she's very.
You're so sweet.
Very, very fucking good at what she does.
Yeah, I love how particular she is too.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that turned me on about her. Like, oh, ha ha! Look at your pointy feet.
Look at how pointy your feet are.
Wow! Look at your arabesque. My goodness gracious.
Oh,
3 twirls, no way. 4 is too many. 5 is out of the question.
I choose her.
You've got an accent. Do you need a green card and got an accent?
Yeah.
Totally works. It does.
So your wife is a hustler, man. Like she does.
She doesn't say no to gigs.
Never stops.
She rarely gets a day off. In fact, we have our first day off tomorrow.
I was just going to say that my favorite thing that you guys do, two of my favorite things that you guys have done sort of as a collab.
We forgot to do it this year.
On Instagram is the Tiny Hands.
Forgot to do that one this year.
Tiny Hands shit. So they do montages because you do like, what was the last one you did?
It's always on Christmas. And we do our little Christmas journey. We'll either go to like finding clothes, or we went to extravagant, or what is it called? The outdoor massive.
Like me and Meredith
winter.
Don't do shit.
It's a lot of fun. They've got like ice skating and
she's gone ice skating without me like several times since we moved here, and I'm like kind of blown away by that. And I'm a little salty about it too.
Well, you're
I
Canadian,
was probably
so
working, but no, I can't. She probably can skate better than I can, but she's from a place where if there's a centimeter of snow, half an inch of snow,
No, I understand centimeters.
But they go insane because they don't have snow plows where she is. Anyway, and she's out there skating in Vegas. You know,
Why not?
What kind of world is this? What was I saying? So you do Tiny Hands. You do this whole montage of like it's like a Christmas song playing, and you're doing like drinking cocoa. With
it's our night
hands,
out. And
little plastic Tiny Hands.
Tiny Hand Adventure.
And then the other one I'm a big fan of is the parkour video. That was a one-off.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a one-off. Funny enough, that his voice sounded like my voice.
Yeah.
And that was the.
So it was.
And
before,
he says Michael too. And
yes.
And
So the parkour thing from The Office, it's like a whole TikTok. It was before TikTok. I knew what the fuck TikTok was all about, which is like recycling
COVID, right?
memes and shit. Yeah, but like you were doing it on Instagram, and it was you and just you and Katie just running around your house like
parkouring. Yeah,
it's just really fun.
Yep.
At one point, you open up your oven and scream parkour into the oven.
Yep. I parkour up one stair.
We're gonna watch that after.
Oh man, that's good.
Anyway,
but I do like the Mortal Kombat one was good.
Yeah.
Baking
and then
Thanos.
your Halloween costumes
Oh
are
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
between the two,
the Mortal
yeah.
Kombat ones and the
Because what did she do?
baking
Katana.
Thanos,
She did Katana, and
Yeah.
you were
Sub-Zero.
and then the Zoolander one,
Oh, that's right, Mugatu. And
which Mugatu, and you've tried to teach me how to say her name so many
how
times.
how are we still going over this?
I don't know. Katinka. Hold on. Let me try it.
You're doing so far so good.
Katinka. It's like Bogovich, but there's more to it, right? Something, and then it ends in na.
Go. Yeah.
Teach it to me again. This is
Katinka Inga Bogovna na.
Inka Bogovna na.
Katinka Inga. Katinka Inga Bogovna na.
But it's amazing because it has the air of Will Ferrell just riffing a name.
Katinka Inga Bogovna na.
Yeah. But Katie Wynn is it. Anyway, we've been talking
Mila
about Katie
Jovovich, if you're listening to this, we're I love you.
All right, back on track.
Auto wash.
This episode is called episode 11. Katie Matthews, representative Michael Rabadan.
Yeah, I'm sitting in for her.
Big fan of your wife. You're okay. Big fan of your wife, though. Okay. I wrote, let me see, Little Landscape Boy, live 2 seconds away, now we're opposite ends of Vegas. I said, I wrote questions, what's it like to get enough vitamin D into your skin? Stupid. Gonna leave that out. Cruise ship, best and worst parts, we did that. Who is your favorite musician?
I don't have one.
Easily. But that you've played with over the years.
My favorite musician that I've played with?
Yeah. That's a loaded question, and I don't even know what would qualify that.
I don't have one because that would distract from doing the job.
Oh, okay. I don't develop relationships. I just
I
hit those high D's. And
honestly, I don't think I've ever been starstruck by anybody that I've.
Well, not about starstruck,
played
but
with?
and it doesn't have to be like famous either. Well, how about this? What's your favorite gig? What has been your favorite gig in your entire career? Looking back, whether it was a jam session, whether it was just when you were like in the moment with the music, feeling.
I don't have one because I've always hated the way I played.
Oh God, that feels good to hear, but I hate that for you.
I know. It's
I'm
just
right- I'm right there with
do
you.
you go? Do people are so I waited tables for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I couldn't say what was my favorite day.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but playing music.
It's a job. It's a job.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. There you go. You've touched on an interesting point. Is that
Don't get me wrong. You're supposed to enjoy your job, but you're there to do a job. I tell my students all the time.
that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it though.
You can enjoy it afterwards.
Okay, then what gig have you enjoyed afterwards? Like, what gig were you like? You left the gig and you were like, I could do that every day.
The ones that I played well on.
That's the thing. Okay, so PSA to every music student ever.
You're your worst critic, man.
Well, you're your worst critic, but you when you reach the point in your music career when you're making money, you're doing things, you're getting called for stuff, and you are miserable still, then it's not. What do you do then? What do you do with that? Do you continue down that road? Do you like?
Well, I don't say I would be miserable. There was a time in my life where every time I picked it up, I put it down. But I tried.
Yeah.
I tried like 5 minutes picking up the trumpet. I hated it. It.
Yeah.
Every time I do it, I'd feel like I was getting worse at it.
Yeah.
And it was like an entire summer. I was right in the middle of Berklee.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. I hated it, but I don't know. Mountains are meant to be climbed. I think I always reverted back to the fact that why did you get into it in the first place?
Yeah.
It made you happy. So how do you get back there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, but for real, like,
and you can. Oh, I remember telling myself this all the time. You can figure this out.
Yeah.
You can.
You have
you know
faith
your
in
own
yourself.
body.
Yeah.
You know what works, what doesn't, and you're allowed to be frustrated.
Yeah.
You're allowed. But being discouraged doesn't help anybody. Try. Doesn't work that day. Okay, stop. Go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
There's always tomorrow. It might be even worse tomorrow, but there's only one way to find out.
That's true. That's a good point.
Sometimes you take 3 or 4 steps back and then 1 step forward.
Yeah.
But eventually things start clicking a bit easier.
Yeah.
I remember when I was growing up, my biggest problem was sight reading. I didn't understand time or the segments of time.
It's a different part of your
like that.
brain than just like having good tone or being able to hear something and
Well, this brings me back to the point where we were talking. What is your favorite moment? I don't have a favorite moment because I don't want to live in this. Remember when I did this type of thing? It's always the next.
Yeah. It might be
how
ahead
do
of
I
you.
make this next part?
Yeah.
Perfect.
You're more
It's an impossibility.
centered in the present
Yeah.
moment.
It all just passed. I don't remember the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell my students, you don't have the ability to feel anymore. It's math now. Make sure it's right. That the people in the audience.
You're a terrifying teacher.
Yeah, I am. The people in the audience get to feel what you do.
Yeah.
You get to give the feel. You can't dig on what you're doing. Otherwise, it's like, oh, well, do that at home
that's
by
a
yourself.
Jam session. That's
in the closet.
Having fun. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. No, but then
Don't get me wrong. There are times where you're just like, "Whoa, where did that come from? That was fun."
Sure.
Like, you're allowed to give yourself props and other people props.
Yeah.
But you don't have the luxury of doing that if you want to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
How do you complete your sentence? How do you complete this entire little speech? Let's just say, for instance, soloing or whatever. You don't have time to reflect on what you just did because, well, you just lost the moment of doing.
Yeah.
That's wrong. Finish what you need to do, then step back away from it and be like, "Oh, that sucked." God, I'm still terrible.
Well, and now it's easier than ever to record yourself.
Which it's good. That's good and
what
bad
you
too.
Sound
Yeah.
like. Hence why I'm doing this podcast, which is like do I hate the guy that I'm listening to myself?
You have a
talk
good
to
voice.
somebody.
I like your voice.
No, I have a great voice. No, I don't.
And
No, I hate the way I laugh and shit. But like,
Really, I disagree.
no.
I
But
think you have
besides like
infectious-
aesthetic stuff, like
do you need a back massage?
Yes, I do, very much so. No, but like
Don't we all?
besides like aesthetically, what I actually sound like physically, it's more like is the content of what this person is saying. I'm approaching this podcast the same way I would approach listening to myself play, which people don't do enough. Which I don't think as musicians.
It's hard to look in the mirror.
Well, we don't press it enough. I think that there's so many, and look, it's just my experience, and there's lots of many different music teachers teaching all over the country, all over the world that are approaching things in different ways, and it's all evolving, and I don't know everybody, but from my experience, my education in music was learn scales, learn these specific jazz scales, learn these tunes, learn how to craft a solo, and and not to say that that's not amazing and really hard to fucking do, because it took me a good, like, I think I probably actually learned how to really solo after I left cruise ships.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, I think I kind of get it now. Mm-hmm. And that's when I wasn't even studying performance. I was studying composition. But like, yeah, so where was I going with that? I don't know. we have to define our goals before we start what we're doing, and I think that doesn't happen in.
You think you need a goal to just enjoy the ride?
Well, not to enjoy. No, but there's the goal. Is the goal to just enjoy the ride? Then that's the goal. Then we've defined the goal.
It definitely keeps you from getting down on yourself when you don't achieve said goal.
That's fine, but like, are you paying this X amount of money to just enjoy the ride, or are you there?
Are you talking about if you were school? I'm talking about if you were
anything you're doing, right? Like, there's certain things, like if I'm gonna go and do an album or something, if I'm gonna make like a live album, for instance, a passion project.
Sure.
I'm gonna do only exactly what I feel like is like what I'm grooving on right now. Like,
sure.
I'm gonna write the tunes that I want to hear. I want to have like this person play it. I want this person on drums. I'm gonna make my dream project happen, and I'm gonna sink my own money into it, and that's my thing. I'm gonna do that. But like, if I'm talking about how am I gonna pay rent, how am I gonna pay groceries, how am I gonna survive in a way that's not necessarily waiting on tables or working as an IA at a fucking middle school, or landscaping, or what, all these things that we do to support ourselves as musicians, and then are we musicians at that point? Like,
you're saying, is that a hobby if you have to have another job?
Well, it's more. I went down a different road there.
You're good. Hey,
no, it's okay.
You're good.
But my point is more of a little bit of a critique of post-secondary education, I guess, in music, where the emphasis is put on how do I make good music, whether that's performance or composition or whatever, with technique, with repertoire, with being innovative and all that shit. And that's all great shit, but I don't think that you should, from an ethical standpoint, take someone's money, teach them all these things, and then send them out into the world without giving them a means to feed themselves while they go on the next part of their career,
And what do you propose that they would be teaching? The curriculum, an individual, other than like, how do you do your taxes or something?
Well, I mean, like, figure out how to license music, figure out how does someone...
Berklee has that stuff.
And I imagine that it's... And again, I'm just talking from my own experience of just like state and,
yeah, they have music business courses.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that they keep up to date with that stuff. It sounds like...
God, I hope so. Of course they do. Well, it'd kind of be a crap school.
Because, here's the thing. Is like, it's the same thing with like Congress and shit. It's like you have these blue-haired people, not necessarily... And I think Berklee has some really... Like, I'm listening to a podcast with this guy that it was really interesting stuff. He was talking about like how NFTs and blockchain shit is going to affect the music industry, but I feel like a lot of academia is just like, I had a guy that's used to play with Woody Herman sitting in a room with me and 6 other adolescents, basically 20-year-olds,
sure,
telling us why that doesn't work over this part of the song. And that's incredibly fucking valuable when you're learning how to play jazz or or learn about like how this theoretically works over this. But none of that has to do with how am I going to survive once I leave here? What are revenue streams that I could take advantage of? What are publishing and stock music writing and there's so many things.
Who has it worse?
Who?
Athletes.
Okay.
How are you going to be? If you're an athlete and that's what you want to do?
Yeah.
You either have to be the best at it. You have to be a professional.
Yeah.
And even then, you might not get paid. I mean.
Yeah.
I hate to bring the WNBA or anything in there, but they're playing for 1,500 people.
Yeah, and they might get imprisoned in Russia.
There's that. That's how you get famous, and that's how you make your money.
She was going to distribute.
There's so few. There's so few. Okay. I hate telling my students that music is a competition because the competition should only be with yourself.
Right. Right.
But music is a competition.
Yeah.
There are only so many positions out there, and you could be better than this other person, but there are so many other factors that can be looked at. You know,
Yeah.
the timing, how good of a person you are to work with.
But that's in career skills and shit.
Yeah, that's
nobody tells you. There's no. I mean, if you have good mentors, they do, but nobody tells you, hey, here's how you etiquette. Here's showing up on time. Is if you don't show up on time, don't bother practicing. Don't bother going to class.
You're so right.
Because you're automatically disrespecting whoever's fucking employing
and you won't
showing
get
up
again.
late. You know, so and you're inconveniencing everyone, whatever. But
well, that's you. I don't want to say loyalty, but loyalty. Yeah. It's a lot of the right time, right place.
Yeah.
But it's also about always getting yourself out there, going to these jam sessions.
Networking is huge. Well, that again, the only meaningful
you have
things
to talk
you can
to
get.
people. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
If they
go
don't
to
know
jam
you're
sessions.
there, you're never gonna be brought up.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
That's how I met everybody here. Is going to the funk jam.
Yeah. At the Sugar Factory, right?
the Sand Dollar.
Sand
they
Dollar.
just had one on Wednesday, but I was working on a tune and this goddamn book, which it'll get there. I've decided to make it. All right, so I'm doing like trying to do. I always wanted to do a book.
Yeah.
Always.
Now, when you say book, you mean a musician, like...
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Like not
For
a
our
music theory,
listeners.
but like it's going to be a...
It's not a
sort of-
novel.
No, it's like a kind of a resource guide or a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to call it Music Genie.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if you ever played
You heard it
Genesis
here
or
first.
something.
Okay.
Genesis back in the day, but there was this... Genesis had cartridges, right? And you'd slip the cartridge into the main 16-bit... All 16 bits of graphics. Oh, my God.
We're so old.
Yeah, but it's
We're so
blast
old.
processing. What the shit that means. Oh, man.
I don't. I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's something they made up, man. There's something they made up.
Blast process.
Blast
Whatever, we'll come
process.
back
Yeah,
to
it was
that.
supposed to be
That's
so much faster with Sonic. God. Anyway, so Game Genie, and I might probably have just messed up the copyright or anything like that.
No, that's fine. You can talk about things. We're not like I'm
no,
not like
no,
playing
I know.
a soundtrack.
Yeah, but
from-
if I made it anyway, basically
Yeah.
you slip the cartridge onto this other cartridge.
Yeah.
That sort of debugs the whole thing.
Oh, well, that's like a Game Shark, like with
Exactly. It was
with
before
Nintendo.
Game Shark.
Okay. Oh,
Ju-
okay.
Yeah, it was before Game Shark. It was called Game Genie.
Okay.
It was this dude who looked like not Encino Man, but Lawnmower Man with a bunch of electricity. It was awesome. Anyway, so basically, I wanted to make a book where it was a quick reference guide for not only beginners and medians, but professionals as well.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm a B flat instrument,
Yeah.
and I want to read
Hey, you're a
in
person,
French
okay?
you're
You're a good man.
How do I do
You're not
that
just a B
really
flat
quick?
instrument.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
sorry. You're a B flat instrument. Go.
Yeah.
Go.
And someone puts a French horn piece of music in front of me.
Yeah.
What do I do to read that in the right key? You know,
Yeah.
or weird scales or something. Just the formula is just there.
That's great. That's because that's an index. Because that's a real world fucking thing that happens. To hey, all I have is this French horn part. Can you read it? And it's like, well, now that I've done this, yes, I can.
So those more like the professional-ish side of it.
Yeah.
But the beginner side of it would be learning how do you learn your order of sharps and flats.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you learned those, because those things have to be memorized, how did you learn them so that they would be memorized? I also have like a formula for the flats or the sharps. So
right.
So what did you do for the order of order of sharps or
I
flats?
don't remember that, but I mean,
you just memorize them?
Well, it's more about like when I just remember being in. It was college before I like was able to play in all keys.
Right. Oh yeah.
But,
Me too.
But like I just
more or
I
less.
would sort of memorize how it felt, I guess, more than anything.
But the order of flats and the order of sharps, the one when you
oh,
see it
like
on
just
the
literally like knowing like the acronym or whatever.
BEADGCF SCGDAUB.
I mean,
Because I was taught bead greatest common factor, BEADGCF.
well, bead was super helpful with
Super helpful.
Well, I learned it with the circle of fifths.
Yes.
Do I still have that up there? No, I don't. So having a visual really helped with that.
Oh, okay.
Where like all like the G flat F sharp was on the very bottom,
Right.
and then we had the
C
weird
flat,
two overlaps on the bottom.
Yeah.
Where it was like
C
7
sharp.
flats and 7 sharps.
Right.
But you would really just be 5 flats, five sharps.
Right. Would you
Whatever.
rather read in D flat or C sharp? type of
Definitely
thing?
D flat.
Yeah.
Definitely D flat.
My
wasn't a real
order
question.
of sharps were 5 cows got drunk at Ed's barn. FCGDAEB. Boom. Boom goes the dynamite.
Well, but like you could have them just make up their own acronym.
Yes, but
And that
that's
would
what
be
I
more
was taught.
impactful,
That's what
really.
I was taught, and so
Yeah.
I just figured I'd carry. I'm not sure if it's terribly appropriate to
Maybe
children,
Yeah.
the age of children that I'm
Well,
doing it to, but
yeah.
I was like, I don't care. This is what I learned, and it was good for me. It's good for you.
Yeah.
I'm showing my age right there. But I've come up with like weird formulas that just to remember what key. Like, all right, take for instance, let's say we're in a key that has just sharps.
Okay.
Let's just say we have 1 sharp. So
Yeah.
I would teach my student, okay, the order of sharps, F, C, G, D, A, E, B. I have 1 sharp. What's the 1 sharp that's in this scale? Oh, F sharp. Okay, great. It happens to be the very first sharp.
Right.
But that's not what note we start on for this quote unquote major scale.
Right.
Let's just call it a major scale.
Yeah.
So how do we find out what note to start on? Well, for the sharps, we go to the very last sharp we need, which happens to be the very first sharp, and we go up a half step.
Yeah.
So that's G. We're going to be playing G major scale.
You're boiling it down to a formula.
Yeah, something that doesn't have to be memorized, or you have to look at the circle of fifths to be able to remember all this stuff.
Right.
It's just many different ways of saying the exact same thing.
Right. But that's what a good teacher does. They say one concept in many different ways for many different learning styles.
Yeah. I guess because I was an idiot or something. Or I had to figure it out myself. Figure out my own ways.
But then that is going to be even more meaningful. You're also. I think that just means you're a good student. Is that you you went out and learned it. You're learning something yourself and having to struggle with something is.
Yeah.
You're going to learn it way deeper than if you had it explained to you. I don't know.
Or you just got it.
Yeah.
This is the only one way.
It's
Core.
It's harder. It's harder to be dumb, folks.
It's also really hard to root for the Jets.
No
But
sports on this.
Here we
podcast.
are. Anyway,
Are you talking about Jets and
not Benny and the
Sharks?
Jets.
Or okay.
No, yeah,
All right.
no.
When you're a Jet,
the New York
are you a Jet?
Jets.
Like for a little bit, or are you a Jet like for until your like last dying day? Fucking dumb. So dumb. So dumb. Fucking idiot.
That is a rhetorical question.
That was from West Side Story. But so the book, you're throwing this all into a book that you're gonna.
I'm trying. It's a lot of revisions, but I don't remember
I think
a lot of stuff from music theory.
Well,
I'm remembering stuff.
Well, but that's great because then you have the first person perspective of someone learning it.
yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of,
oh, yeah,
you know.
definitely.
Sort of.
Or
You-
it's also
you know
stuff
it,
that
but-
I knew of but never actually learned it too. So I'm actually reinforcing
Yeah.
me
I think
learning.
that's really valuable is the emphasis. I think that what you should include in that, if I had a request as someone who is
yeah.
also teaching music and stuff, is practicality, practical sides of things, and like why are we learning all this theory to do this or that, this or that?
Yeah, where you would use it.
Yeah, where you would use
I'm
it, why
definitely
you would
putting
use
that
it.
in there.
Yeah, and like means to an end. Like I feel like having goalposts are good because if you're centering your focus around a goalpost, then you can direct what you're doing in a more efficient way.
Sure.
I guess. Yeah.
No, I think you nailed it with practical application.
Yeah.
How does this go over? Where would I normally typically use this scale?
Yeah.
Where would I typically find this? I'm not putting any patterns or any like box rules of harmonic progression because that's getting into it.
Yeah.
This is just really quick tips and things like that.
Yeah.
And what does every single music book, every single music theory book lack? It's humor. People, none of it is funny.
Maybe.
Really?
Well,
tell me a music theory
No,
book that's
it's
funny.
not that I'm disagreeing with you, but I don't think that I get annoyed if I see somebody in an instructional book trying to be a fucking personality. You know?
Okay.
I
have some deleting to do.
No, but it's true.
So you're just quite happy being engaged with math.
Well, so Ben Wendell's book.
God,
is
do you read stereo instructions just as a
No,
hobby?
but I came for the information, and I didn't come for entertainment. You know. But at the same time,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, at the same time, it's like you want to have something that's like digestible or whatever.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. It depends on how you're gonna implement that.
True. Yeah. No, it's the focus is not being funny. It's just to soften the blow of all this information.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I guarantee
review
you it's probably not funny.
I can review it.
It's funny to me. I think
it's you're onto something there though, because like having something.
I don't know. I just remember learning theory in school was just like,
well, it's
this
a grind,
is
man.
just
It's like, what the hell's the point of it?
So much stuff. Why am I not engaged?
But don't you think that like not having a goalpost that's like at least on the horizon, that makes it so much harder to learn something? Because like, why the fuck am I learning this? I'm gonna quit. That's all you can think about.
Honestly, for the sheer enjoyment of it.
But then if it's not enjoyable, then
well, that's what I'm saying. You have to make it enjoyable. It doesn't matter if there's a goalpost. You're just enjoying the walk.
I guess, yeah.
I'd always make the analogy of walking through a garden with my students. Do you want to hurry up and get through it so you can do what? Or do you want to stop and check out some flowers, smell some shit?
Yeah, because then you have more depth of experience.
Yeah, enjoy the whole ride. I mean, what's the point in getting to the goal if you're just not going to enjoy the whole process?
Yeah.
Then it is just a job.
Well, but then again, it's like you have to define your goalpost, which is like, are you doing this for a job? Are you trying to turn this into a career? And that doesn't mean that you can't have.
True, you do have to have a little fire under you, and then I need to get to this point to be able.
But the core of that is the fact that you couldn't imagine yourself doing anything other than music for a living. So that now you have. If that's the case,
let me pose it this way.
Yeah,
that's instead of you can't imagine doing anything else. How about this? This is just what all you want to do.
Yeah.
You've never thought about anything else. This is just I'm happy in this little spot.
That's the same thing, but
it is, but it's a different look at it. It feels to me a little more positive because you're happy where you are and not terrified about anything else.
Oh, I see.
I don't want to do this. Oh, but I have to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and look,
if you're not afraid of failing,
if you're not afraid of failing, then your parents are rich. It is what that is.
Oh God. You have to be based in reality. You have to know what you're good at and what you're not too at the same time. So you can't have any delusions of grandeur. You're allowed to get scrutinized and you're allowed to cry. It's not about the puncher. It's how hard you get up or something. Wait, that was weird.
You heard it here, folks. It's not about the puncher. It's how hard you get up. I think my point, I guess, is the thing that I get kind of tied up in knots about if I have kids and then they go into music and arts and all those things, is you're going into an industry that is a buyer's market, which means that
it's only lucrative for a few.
It's only lucrative for a few, and those people take advantage of the many people that make that industry possible. It's hard to lead people into this gauntlet that they're about to enter, which is go and make a living playing music, or go and make a living being an animator or an artist or whatever, or dancer. And it's really hard to look at kids in the eye who are paying, or their parents are paying thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to get an education doing something that might not work out for them. You know?
Yeah, could you say that about anything, though?
You could say it more about music and arts and things like that, rather than like a nurse or people that are essential workers and all that stuff. You know?
Yeah, music isn't terribly essential.
Anyway.
Yeah, no,
you have the right idea.
What, you have to. So you're saying you should give all these students a disclaimer. This teaching you doesn't necessarily mean that you will be successful.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and nothing
they
is
know
guaranteed.
that.
Nothing. Well, they
don't
know
think
that.
No one goes into music being like, I'm going to be a superstar.
Right.
That's your first problem right there.
I agree with all of that. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is, in addition to making them aware of that, just so you know, this isn't being a plumber, this isn't being a congressman, this isn't being a nurse. This is being someone who is going into an area that you are at the disadvantage, and you are not in demand until you make yourself in demand.
Yeah. You can make or break yourself.
Yeah. I think what we need to put more emphasis on and include more of in our diet when we're teaching this stuff in academia is the day-to-day. How to not starve while you're doing that. You know? Like, and I think,
at what age are you saying that this should be implemented?
Like college level. Like,
okay, all right, yes.
Yeah.
That is, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
You have to, life skills need to be taught.
Yeah. Well, earlier than that is more just like, because there's more to
social skills. That's what it is.
Well, so it's social skills, and
that.
there's so much that music can teach you just in general, from forming abstract information into physical movement and things like that. Like that, if you go and play clarinet for 6 years and then don't play clarinet, like you're gonna have stuff that your mind is going to work better than if you didn't do
Don't
that.
play clarinet, kids.
Yeah. Don't play clarinet. That's just my general advice to everyone in the world.
Yes, Uncle Roger told me that.
Except for Paquito de Rivera. He should be playing clarinet. And Julian Tanaka should also be playing clarinet. And also ingratiate yourself to people who may be on your podcast one day.
Nice.
Quick questions. Speed round. Ready?
Yeah.
Here we
ready, go.
Do your lips hurt from all the bugling?
No, but there is a fun little fact. When you first start playing trumpet, for the very first month, every time you play, your lips tingle.
Ooh.
And then it never happens again. You literally go through puberty for a month. You go through trumpet. That was wild. Every single trumpet player ever has had the same, or I guess just brass player.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Just tingle.
You play
like,
for
what
a
do you
month.
mean the tingle? Like after the.
It's like a little bit of electricity-ish type of thing.
So
it tingles.
Like your nerve endings are, but like like 5 minutes after you stop playing, or like.
Yeah. 5-10 minutes, something like that.
And then it just doesn't. You do that for like a week, and then
a month, and then it will never tingle again.
Okay. All right. You're flapping your lips really quickly in a small space. It's stupid. It's weird.
Your mouth
and
lips.
Like, who thought of that? Anyway, here's a tube. Here, look. Here. Do that noise, but then do it with this over your mouth.
Yeah.
This is the guy that invented brass instruments.
Oh my. Yeah.
Hey. Like he's stopping people in the street, like they're just trying to go buy bread or something.
Yeah. You want to hear a sound of a bee? Hey, I have a horn.
God damn it, Tony. Can you stop? Just do this somewhere else, not in front of my bakery, all right? Hey.
You dirty musicians.
I invented this.
Hey.
Okay,
So
Two questions. What do you want the world to know about you? And how do people find you?
Lives, hopefully.
Hopefully with a pulse.
What do I want the world to know about me?
Not that this podcast has any reach at all, but I mean, you're writing a manual of practical skills for musicians. I think that's amazing.
I don't know. I've always been kind of intrigued in how to live forever.
That I think they cover that in the
But you
first
can't
Harry Potter
actually
book.
physically do that, right? I mean, maybe in a
I don't
couple
know.
hundred years, we probably will
I feel like
find a
the
way to do
elite
that.
will find that out before we do.
The only way to do that is to write something down. I guess I just wanted to be remembered.
Yep. Thank you for coming on my podcast. Dude,
This was a lot of fun.
and the evening's not over. It's just that's where you as the listener will leave us. You have to go home. We get to keep being Michaels over here.
That's true.
That's today's episode. Thanks for hanging out. If you want to follow Rabadan on social media, his Instagram is @Michael Rabadan. That's Rabadan. Please direct all complaints about today's episode to him there, and he will answer every single one of them. All right, so for today's transition, I'll be getting a tiger to chase me to the next episode. She's been in a cage for a couple days, and she looks super hungry, so this should be interesting. Wish me luck. Hey, beautiful, look at you. Hey, any relation to Tony? Just kidding. All right, just let me unlock this, and... Oh! Oh, God, oh, God.